We here, baby. We are here. Getting started, baby. We here. We here. Is it rigged? Is it scripted? Is it fixed? I don't know. You tell me. That's right, baby. Another episode, another edition, whatever you want to call it, of rigged, scripted, and fixed. So, I gave you guys a couple of days since the last live. When was that? I don't know, what, 2 days ago or something like that, right? Or 3 days ago, right? I gave you guys time to think about it. So now we gotta talk about it because this is the last day before the weekend. I know there's still Saturday before the games on Sunday, but this is Friday. This is ending the weekday, right? So I gave you guys a couple of days to think about it with who y'all running with, or if y'all changed your mind. Conference championship, NFC, AFC, who y'all rolling with? So we're gonna talk about it, right? It's this now. Every year they will overhype the NFC and the AFC championship. Yes, we do know that. We do know that. But this one seems very interesting. Right? This one seems very, very interesting. There's a couple of things that that go into it. Right? Are you guys rolling with the Patriots? Are you guys rolling with the Denver Broncos? Are you guys rolling with the Los Angeles Rams? Are you guys rolling with the Seattle Seahawks? That's what I need to know, right? It's getting pretty interesting. There's a couple of numbers we start that that I'm seeing often, right? But one thing still stands alive, and it's been going on for far too long. And I kept telling people, right? You see it right there. You guys see the thumbnail. You see the 14 right there on the top, right? The 14's there. Did I not tell you guys time after time after time after time? We will see the number 14 involved in the Super Bowl some way, somehow. Of course, the 4 will be involved. You can say the 14, aka the 4, right? We will see that number involved in the Super Bowl some way, somehow, right? But a lot of people ignored that. We're gonna see it no matter what. It just is what it is, people. You can't get away from it. 14 will be involved some way, somehow. And I also would like to tell people we have never seen a number. Well, you could probably say 3. You could probably say 3, but all my years of doing this, we've never really seen a number stuffed down somebody's face so much like the number 14. I promise you that because I do this every year. And just to let people know, you don't find the number right away in the beginning of the year. It's a year prior. Just to let you guys know that. right? It's always something that they run with. I've never seen this number stuffed down our face so much as much. You could probably argue with the 3, fine, yeah, right? Probably close because they're always going to include that some way somehow. But this 14, like I always said, is going to be involved in the Super Bowl some way somehow, right? Somebody can score 14 points. The margin of victory can be 14. Who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows, right? But we do know there's a couple of facts that 14 will be involved some way, somehow, and it will shape the outcome of the Super Bowl. I promise you that. I promise you that much, right? We are here, right? We are here. Now, for those that don't know, yes, my Super Bowl pick is it's the Rams, followed by the Seattle Seahawks, right? I spoke about the Seahawks. I spoke about, and that's the one thing I hate is because I spoke about the Seahawks when the media wasn't talking about the Seahawks. Nobody was on the Seahawks. Literally nobody. Nobody was on the Seahawks at all. Now it's so much Seahawks talk. I tried to tell people, listen, pay attention. Forget about them 49ers. Forget about them Eagles, right? Just to name a few, right? Forget about them Bears, right? I had to get over the Packers. Forget about the Packers this year. Forget about them. And this is NFC. Forget about them. They don't count. Trust me. Yeah, but who cares? It doesn't matter what they're doing. They're gonna get eliminated. There's no way they're going anywhere. Forget about them. It's too early in the season. Y'all talking about them. The Vikings. Stop talking about them. Who cares? They're gonna fail in the end. That's what you think about. Stop thinking about the first half so much. They're gonna fail. Sure enough, what we got? We got the Rams and the Seahawks, the last two standing. Last two standing. Right? So it's like, so what do we take from this? Right? Rams, Seahawks, especially the Patriots, Broncos. Are the Broncos being talked about a little bit too much? I'm asking, right? Are they being talked about just a little bit too much? Because, we always have that conversation. What happens when a team is talked about so much? They usually fail. Yes, we do know that. We know that. But the Patriots is getting a lot of love as well, though. I think it is equal. I think it is equal. Matter of fact, no, I'm not even going to say equal. I think the Patriots is actually getting more love than the Broncos. I think the Patriots have been getting more love than the Broncos all season long, actually, even though the Patriots are number 2 and the Broncos are number 1. And I think me personally, it has to be the NFL pushing this narrative on purpose. They have to be pushing this narrative to the media, and then the media is following along and they're pushing that narrative. It has to be. The NFL was doing this on purpose. This is being done. This is their work right here. Right? Now, I had my Patriots days, right? Not a fan of the Patriots anymore, right? But it just is what it is. They're being talked about. I think they're being talked about more than the Denver Broncos. The whole Broncos thing is with Stidham. Now, what I need people to be careful about is, since we haven't seen Stidham in a while, right? A lot of people's under the impression, because I'm sitting back listening to how people's talking on the internet, right? And even in person too. Let me stop the BS, right? They're talking like Stidham, this is his second year. They don't know that he came in, he was drafted in 2019. He was drafted in 2019. So this ain't new. This is basically another Nick Foles joint, right? Because it took Nick Foles. Nick Foles got drafted in 2012. He was able to help the Eagles in the 2017 season, basically. And he lifted up the trophy, obviously, in 2018. So basically, it took like 5 seasons or so, right? It took like 5 seasons for Nick Foles to actually win the championship, because he was drafted in 2012. This is the same thing here with Stidham. Stidham was drafted in 2019. Here we are in the 2025 season. Got 6 seasons. It's a possibility it can happen. I'm not rooting for it. Of course, I'm not rooting for it, but it's a possibility it can happen. They both the age of 29. Almost like the same thing, people. It's almost like the same thing. I don't know if people realize that. It's almost like the same thing, right? Now, let's see. Let's see. Yes, I do understand the whole thing with the Pope. I do understand the whole thing with the Pope, but I told somebody the Pope actually is not the big deal here. The number 14, people, is the big deal. The number 14 is the big deal. And being that the Pope has a birthday that lands on what? The 14th. That's the reason why you're hearing about the Pope. You guys get what I'm saying? This is bigger than the Pope. The Pope birthday happens to land on the 14th. So that's the reason why they incorporate him into the mess. Number 14 is the powerful number, people. That's the power number this year. Everything, think about it. Everything that they're doing is going to align with the number 1 and 4. That's the big deal here. The 1 and 4 is the big deal. Everything that involves it, that's how they connect it. You know, because, you know, some people's under the impression that whoever wins is winning for the Pope. That always sounded crazy to me.
Are you fucking serious?
You know, that always sounded crazy to me. That's not no. That's no, not at all. Not at all. You know, people have to realize that, right? That's not how it goes, right? So, you know, this is where things get interesting. You know, let's get straight into it, right? The topic of the show is, you know, battle of the Shawn Michaels, right? Battle of the Shawn Michaels. What do I mean by that? You guys in the chat already know basically what I'm talking about. You guys that's listening, you guys should already know what I'm talking about. We got 4 coaches left. 4 coaches left. 4 coaches left, right? And notice how 2 of them have the name Shawn, 2 of them have the name Michaels. This is battle of the Shawn Michaels. Now, what are we going to see in the Super Bowl? A Shawn versus Shawn, a Mike versus Mike, or a Shawn versus Mike? It can be one of those. Doesn't matter which way. NFC, AFC, it doesn't matter. That's all on you. But it could be a Shawn versus Shawn, right? A Mike versus Mike, or Shawn versus a Mike. Which one are we going to see? Me, what I'm rooting for. Right? I'll say this. What I'm rooting for is a Shawn versus Shawn. That's what I want to see. Is it a for sure thing? No, it's not a for sure thing at all. Because shit, even before the Rams game, we still have to figure out what's going to happen with this whole thing with the Patriots and the Broncos. We got to see what happens with that game first and foremost, right? But that's what I would like to see, because we never seen that Super Bowl matchup. We've seen Patriots versus Seahawks. We've seen Patriots versus Rams, right? We've seen Broncos versus the Seahawks, right? We haven't seen Broncos and Rams yet. Let that be the new game. Let that be the new fresh game. Because like I said on the last live, I don't see Seahawks versus Patriots part 2 to be exciting, because damn near nobody's involved. That was there from before. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's involved at all. Broncos versus Seahawks too. I still don't. To me, that doesn't even make no sense. It would have made a little bit more sense if your man Russell Wilson was still playing for the Broncos, right? If he didn't leave the Broncos, if he was still there, it would have made more sense. But he's not there, so I don't see that to be exciting at all. I don't. That's just me. So to see the Seahawks going against one of those 2 teams in a rematch, I don't see it. Right? Now, just because I'm going for the Rams, I'm not trying to be biased, but it will make more sense to see them versus the Patriots, or Most importantly, them versus the Broncos, because them versus the Broncos is fresh and new. But the whole Patriots thing, there is history. You can make it a part 3 thing. Okay, fine. I would rather see that. But ultimately, I want to see a Shawn versus a Shawn. That's just me. And if it aligns up that way, I would laugh. So that's why I ask people, are you gonna parlay Shawn, and also Shawn this weekend? Who's gonna do the triple Shawn parlay? Now a lot of people's asking, be fired, what do you mean? There's only 2 Shawns playing. Who's gonna triple the Shawn? Who's gonna do the triple Shawn parlay? Who's gonna do it? The triple Shawn parlay this weekend. That's what I want to know. Is there anybody that's gonna do the triple Shawn parlay? Right? Shawn McVay. And even if you don't do the money line, right? Shawn McVay. Let's just say you take the points. Let's say you take that plus 5.5. You buy a point and bring it back to what the line originally opened to, right? Let's say you do that. And then let's say you do Shawn McVay and the Rams to win. No. Did I say double? No. I mean triple. I'm talking about triple. Y'all. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta hear me. This is a funny weekend to me. I find this to be a funny weekend. So you got the Denver Broncos. You can do a money line, or you could do the points, 5.5. Or if you feel comfortable with the 4.5, fine. Are we gonna see a triple Shawn? So the Denver Broncos, either they cover the spread or they win the game. You can get that, right? And then also you also add Shawn McVay and the Rams to win, right? And then last but not least, even though this will be the first matchup to kick off your parlay, saying it wins, I don't know. This one's a fishy one. I'm not saying do it, but I'm just saying if anybody feels like doing the whole triple Shawn, you guys can do the triple Shawn, right? Those are Sunday's games, but you could top off your Shawn parlay. Don't do this. Could be risky. Not risky, because it can happen. It's a chance that it can happen. Just do the triple Shawn. You take your man Sean O'Malley from the UFC. He's in a co-main event. Right? He's in the co-main event. Anybody that knows about UFC, ironically, your man Sugar Sean O'Malley is fighting. Uh-huh. Yeah. I tell y'all, when I'm talking about something, I usually know what I'm talking about. You know, we get to see it. Exhibit A. You see it right there. You see it now. This is not about UFC, right? This is about the whole Shawn thing. But I'm just letting you guys know, if you're feeling a little bit froggy and you want to do something nice, you got the whole Shawn shit, right? Instantly, I noticed this. I said, wait a minute, Sean O'Malley's fighting this weekend as well. You got Sugar Sean O'Malley. You know he's popular in the UFC. He's fighting. You know, he's a favorite. Now, what if somebody was to hit a 3-teamer, a 3-team Shawn, right? Sean O'Malley, boom, he kicks it off Saturday night, because that's going to be on Saturday night. And now all you need is Sean McVay, money line, or even the spread, depending on what you take. That hits, and then the last but not least, it comes down to your man Shawn McVay and the Rams actually winning. Wouldn't that be crazy if somebody was to hit some shit like that? And yes, all three of their names is spelled the same exact way.
Are you fucking serious?
Shawn. That was just a little bonus thing I could throw out there for y'all. You guys really don't have to take that serious. Don't sit there and do that if that wasn't on your mind. If that wasn't on your mind, don't think about it. You could take the 2 Shawns in a football game. Right? But wouldn't that sound a little crazy? A lot of people ain't even noticed that. You could take the 3 Shawns. Right? Take the three Shawns and make something happen. Right? This is a Shawn Michaels weekend. I'm surprised Shawn Michaels don't got nothing on, nothing going on, right? But, you know, hear me out for a second with this, right? Yeah, yes, Shawn has 4 letters. That's right, Ken, and Shawn does have 4 letters. But here's something else that people don't notice, though, right? Shawn, and this is not gematria too, by the way. What I'm about to say, I like for the new people, or for the new people that's going to listen to the playback, right? I don't do gematria. I do things that's just straight up. I'm good with numbers. I'm good with letters, right? Shawn equals 39. Shawn equals 39, right? Should we take a little bit of a lesson? Fine, let's do it. Let's pop it up on the screen right here. This ain't gematria. This is straight up. Anybody that's looking at the screen, you can see it right here, right? You can see it right here. Shawn is spelled S-E-A-N. The number S. The number S is what? The letter 19 is the number 19. The letter E is the number 5. The letter A is the letter 1, is the number 1. Let's start that over. The letter S is the number 19. The letter E is the number 5. The letter A is the number 1. The letter N is the number 14. So if we want to add that up, 19 plus what? Plus 5 plus 1 plus 14, it gives you 39, right? Oh, yes, it does. It gives you 39, right? Now, what makes that so interesting is what? What did I always say about 39? What did I tell you guys about 39 to be careful about the number 39? Also, yeah, it's a lot of people have this theory about, it being played in Santa Clara and the whole thing with the whole 666 thing or whatever. Well, 3, you could say that, but let's just focus on the 39. So if you take the 39, right? If you take the 39 and you multiply, you get 3 times 7, right? And when you get 3, you get 3 times 9 and you get 27. I repeat, you get 3 times 9 and you get 27. Now, what number have we been talking about all year long, people? You guys see it on the screen. You guys see it on the screen. This ain't no gematria. This is straight up in your face. What number have we been talking about all year long? If you take the 39 and you multiply that, and you get 27. And all you got to do, what do you do with the 27? You just multiply the 2 and the 7, and you get what? You get 14.
Are you fucking serious?
See that, right? Did I not tell you 14 is going to be involved some way, somehow? Some way, somehow, 14 is secretly going to be involved some way, somehow. Shout out to my man Low in the building, right? So for those that is listening that didn't quite get it, I'll say it real fast again. If you take the name Shawn with no gematria, if you take the name Shawn and you look at the alphabet chart, right? The letter S is 19. The letter E is 5. The letter A is 1. The number N is number 14. If you add all that up, you get 39. All you got to do is multiply 3 times 9 and you get what? 27. That number we've been talking about all year long. You take the 27. Yeah, Shane Tamora, he died at the age of what? 27. Anybody don't know what I'm talking about? That's the shooter that came from Vegas all the way here to New York to the headquarters and died. He died at the age of 27, right? Part 3 is coming up. But yeah, if you take the 3 and the 9 and you multiply that, you get 27. And that leads you to what? The 2 times the 7, and that gives you the number we've been talking about for so goddamn long, and that would be the 14. There you go. You see that, right? You see that, right? Now that's that's Shawn. Now, to be fair, let's look at Mike, right? If you look at Mike, Mike. You take the M, let me try to put it on the screen. Yeah, you take the M. The M is 13. You take the I, that's 9. You take the K, that's 11. You take the E, and that's 5. You add all that up, you get 38. You get 38 on that one. Now, what the importance of that is a little bit of importance of that. right? Because I'm gonna tell you why. If we get a Shawn versus a Mike, which Shawn is 39 and Mike is 38, right? Mike is 38. If we was to get that, you add all of that up. If you add it all up, 39 plus 38, I think you get 77. I don't know. I can be bugging. My math's not too good. The last time I checked, if you add up 39 and you add up 38, right? You get 77, and you add 7 and 7, you get 14. Last time I checked. And that's the number that we've all been talking about. So there's a chance that we can get a Shawn versus a Mike. I remember. Last time I checked, I remember that. I remember 14 being the number that we all talk about. So if we get a Mike versus a Shawn, that gives us the 77, which is the 7 plus the 7. That is the 14. So here's the thing. There's 2 Super Bowls that can happen with that. Right? Broncos versus the Seahawks. The Rams versus the Pats. Now me, even though I'm rooting for the Rams, I don't like to come here and just be biased. I have to be fair all across the board. Right? If we get a Shawn versus a Mike, if we get the Shawn Michaels Super Bowl, it can be the Broncos or the Seahawks, or it can be the Rams versus the Pats. Either or, one of those is going to be a part 2. See what I'm saying? You guys see that, right? Now, let's get into Shawn versus Shawn, the one that I'm rooting for. This is the one that I'm rooting for. Shawn versus Shawn. Right? Because Shawn versus Shawn, you add that up, you get the 78. Right? You that equals 78. So all you got to do is 7 plus 8 and you get the 15. Right? And that 15 brings us to what? The 1 in 5 Super Bowl matchup that I've been going for.
Are you fucking serious?
The 1 in a 5. We can get a 1 in 5 Super Bowl, which will involve the 4. So you know the 4 is good. Like I said, the 14, aka the 4, is going to be involved some way, somehow. So if we get the 78, Shawn versus Shawn, and you add 7 plus 8, you get 15. There goes that difference, the 1 in a 5. Sort of like your man Patrick Mahomes, who was what, number 15 when he went down. 1 in 5. 1 in 5. Patrick Mahomes goes down this year. Do we see a 1 in a 5? Number 15 goes down this year. Is there a chance we see a 1 in a 5? Because me personally, I keep telling people, I find it funny that we have a number 5. That is a weird number. Out of all the seeds, the only seed that stands out to me is the 5. You got a 1 and a 2 seed left, right? Patriots 2, right? Broncos, Seahawks 1. That's that 5 just stands out to me some way, right? That 5 just stands out. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? So that could be a 1 versus 5 seed. Now, if you get a 1 versus 5 seed, that can only mean one thing. That would be the Broncos versus the Rams. That would be the Broncos versus the Rams. So, I mean, there's a conversation for all these matchups. To be honest with you, I can't be biased, right? There is the one that makes sense to me the most. Well, Shawn versus Mike makes sense, but also Shawn versus Shawn to me, I feel like that one makes the most sense, even though like the difference is the 4, but the 1 and the 5, along with other things that come into play, it's more to it that you guys would have to understand, right? Now the other matchups like a Mike versus Mike, to me, don't make no sense. I already did the whole breakdown, not publicly, but I did a whole breakdown myself. Really don't make no sense, to be honest with you, right? But That's just something that we have to look out for. Shawn versus Mike or Shawn versus Shawn, right? Based on those numbers, right? So like that's just something that I want people to understand. Really, really understand that, right? So I mean, does that mean people's changing their mind about what's gonna happen? You know? Also, also, I have to so a lot of Sean's is popping up leading to the Super Bowl, right? So we have the final four coaches. Two of them have a Sean, right? And shout out to Low on this, right? He brought it up. It was on the show yesterday when he brought up the referee that's going to be the head referee for that Super Bowl, right? And I know of him, but he reminded me. He said, "Yeah, what's the name? What's the name of that referee?" And that's Shawn Smith. Shout out to Low on that one, right? Shawn Smith, the lead referee for Super Bowl 60 coming up. He will be the lead ref in the Super Bowl. Shawn Smith. And not only that, one thing I do know, every referee has a number. Do you guys know his number? If anybody missed the Pick'em show last night, do you guys know Shawn Smith referee number? Oh, that would be 14.
Are you fucking serious?
That would be number 14. Shawn Smith referee number is 14. Like I told you guys, the number 14 will be involved some way, somehow in the Super Bowl. Anybody that's watching, this is not, this is straight up shit, right? These are the things that we cover here in Rig, Scripted, and Fix, right? It's not no coding. It's none of that. It's these things is in your face, right? And the reason why I go so hard at it, people, is because I've been stressing this number for so long, and it's not like people have to get on a board and just listen to what I'm saying, but I'm trying to tell them. I've been trying to tell them for the longest, right? Whenever you make predictions, right? Always pay attention to the number 14. The number 14 should be involved some way, somehow. And what do we see week by week? So just in case anybody says, "Oh, you're being on some conspiracy theory shit," no, it's right in front of your face. There's no such thing as a conspiracy when it's right in front of your face. That's what we do over here, right? That's what we do over here. No, Brady's not calling the game. The game is on NBC. Brady's with Fox. Brady's not calling that game. Yeah, and also on I think on Google, I saw somebody type that in and that did pop up, but that's false. Yeah. Tom Brady's not calling that game. The game's on NBC. Yeah, I can't stand when Google does that. It's like telling people the wrong things. NBC has the Super Bowl this year. If I'm not mistaken, Fox had it last year, right? So I don't even think Fox is getting it next year. So yeah, I think Fox has to wait in maybe 28, right? 28 or 29 or something like that, or whatever. But yeah, people, these are the things that you have to look out for. Wait, he said, by the way, NBC is channel 5. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Donald. Over here in New York, NBC is channel 4. Fox is 5 over here. So yeah. So that's So Fox is not. Fox just did it last year, so they have to wait until even after next year. They have to wait. I think Fox is gonna get it when it goes back to what, Georgia or something like that, right? When it goes back to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, I think that's when Fox is picking it back up. Cause yeah, next year CBS is gonna have it in LA, yeah, in LA, yes, yeah, it's 5. Okay, yeah, it's 5 in Chicago. Yeah, NBC, yeah. We got Fox over here. Fox is over here. You know what I'm saying? So that just to let people know, this is what you have to be careful for. You have to be careful, right? Now, how you going to incorporate this with how you pick? That's on you. That's on you. But just know, I'm telling you, that number's gonna pop up, right? Now, if anybody just walked in, if there's anybody that just walked in the chat, once again, I told everybody, if you're feeling froggy and you want to have a nice parlay, now I'm not telling you guys to go do this, but if you want to have a nice fun parlay, you can do the you can do the Shawns, you can do the triple Shawns. You can take the Broncos with the spread or even the money line, and you can take the Rams, and you can also take Sugar Sean O'Malley for UFC also to win. He fights on Saturday night, so that can kick off your parlay. This could be, that could be, as you guys see it right here, your man Shawn O'Malley, right? Just saying, he could do something nice, whatever, get y'all paid or whatever. You know, you see it, right? So, I mean, I don't know. That's just something to think about. Just something to think about. So let's see what you can get, right? Let's see what we can get. Let's see what it's looking like if we was to do that parlay, right? So, for instance, Broncos versus Patriots, as you see, I'm doing it right here. Like I said, what I would do, I would buy a point. So let's go to popular, right? Let's go to alternate spreads. Uh, let's see. I'm blind. Alternate spreads got to be listed right here. Alternate spreads. There you go. Alternate spread right there. Boom. Right. Denver Broncos. Let's see. Let's say we go back to the original opening line. The original opening line is a +5.5. So boom, we'll put that there, right? As you guys can see. Opening line, 5.5. Let's move this over just a little bit. Okay, so you see it right there. +5.5, Denver Broncos. Right? So now, bring it up. Go back to NFL. Rams straight up, right? If that's what you guys is thinking. Rams straight up. Boom. You put that there. Right? Okay, so now you go to UFC. Right? Go to UFC. UFC fights. Come on, just is it listed at? Well, Shawn O'Malley right there. He's a -215. You put that there, right? So now you can get this is FanDuel, y'all, because I know everybody has different books. You get Denver Broncos at a +5.5, the Rams money line, and you get the Shawn O'Malley money line. That's a +449. So just if you put 100, you're gonna make 449. So you're making a 449 for each 100 you do. Right? I'm just showing you guys. You don't have to pick this, right? But now if you feeling froggy and you're like, be fire, why are you going with the spread? Forget the spread. Denver Broncos straight up. All right, so what does it give you if you take Denver Broncos straight up? Okay, you can get your parlay at the Rams money line, Shawn O'Malley money line, Denver Broncos money line at a +817. So every 100 is going to give you 817 and 75 cents. You guys see what I'm saying? So it's either or. If you want to go with the safe bet of taking a spread, hopefully it ends in a field goal game, because the Patriots really haven't had that yet. This playoffs, they haven't had nothing that tested them. Right? They they beat the Chargers convincingly. Right? Same thing with the with this team. the Texans. So they really didn't have no tight game. This might be the tight game. That's what I think. I think it's going to be the tight game, right? So, I mean, I don't know. If you can get the tight game, you can still cover the spread. Everything else can hit. Now, I'm not sitting there telling you guys to do that, right? That's something that I'm going to do for fun. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to test the waters with that. But before I do it, I have to do more studying on, since I'm a UFC head as well. For those that don't know, like, my knowledge in UFC is definitely up there like it is football, right? There's a couple of things I have to research first before I sit there and actually press the button on that, right? So, just to put that out there, that'll be a nice parlay if somebody was to do that and hit it. I know I'm gonna rock with it, but I gotta make my final decision before tomorrow night. So just letting people know that is something I'm interested in, but more with the spread with the Broncos, because you guys know about the +5.5. I told you guys about the whole +5.5 thing plenty of times. Whenever a game opens up with +5.5, you may want to take advantage of it and take the +5.5 with the dogs. A lot of the times the dogs do win the game outright. They do win outright, but if you want to be on a safe bet, hopefully the game can end in a field goal type of game, or even a 4-point type of game. The team that's losing, they're down by 4, right? The underdog is down by 4, and they have the ball, and they have no choice but to go down the field and score. But they fail, they can still lose by 4. You still cover your +5.5, or it could be a field goal game, right? Those are the two things that you should bank on when it comes to a +5 game. You don't really see too many games end on 5. You see 4, we do see 3 and things of that nature. We've seen 2, we've seen 1. But 5, not too much. But if it does end on 5, that'll be funny. 5 or 6 would be funny, right? So that's just something to look out for, you guys. That I like that for the weekend. Just letting you guys know that. I like that. Let's see what you guys is talking about. Let me go to this. See what you guys are talking about. Let me see what you guys are talking about. The Broncos. B from Ohio talking about the Broncos is 4-0 versus the Patriots in the playoffs. Yes, they are. Stidham is 1-3 in his career. That's Buck saying that. Pats could win, and it can be 1-4, like 14. Hold on, before I read all the comments, let me still say something. I have something to say. I have something to say with the last 3 comments I read, right? You do know. Let me just make this easier for y'all. Let me just make this easier for y'all. Let me put it on the screen again. I don't know how many times I don't want to sound like a broken record, but for those that's looking at the screen, I keep trying to show you guys something. Well, oh no. You know what? Let me take that back, because you guys are not talking about the Super Bowl. You guys are talking about the games this week, right? That's what y'all talking about? Because you see the Shane tomorrow on the screen. People, 14 is 14, right? We've been speaking about it plenty of times. But I also got to keep letting you guys know. Please don't get sidetracked by 14. Don't invest 1 and 4 so much that you forget about the number 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. I think people need to be careful about putting all their eggs in one basket dealing with the number 14. Because 5 still is coded with 14. 5 is still coded with 14. Yes, Sam Darnold is number 14. There's a lot of things I can throw on with each one of these teams that deal with 14, right? But I'm just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful. But if y'all talking about this game specifically, 90% of the money is on the Pats. Yes, it is. Another thing about that, I would say the public cooked up wild card weekend and they cooked up division weekend. The public cooked up both. If the numbers that were reported is actually real, because that's still suspect to me, right? The public ate both weeks. I don't think they eat this week. I don't think the public eat. Shout out to my guys in the chat. Shout out to my guys in the chat. I don't think the public eats this week. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the public eats this week. And I don't the NFL, the Super Bowl is one game, so we can't even really go by that. These last two games though, I don't think it's gonna be easy as the public thinks. And that's I just don't. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't think so. 54 watching, only 19 likes. Get those likes. Listen, get those likes up, y'all. Good looks, Buff Daddy. Get those likes up. Listen, y'all come here, y'all get free game. Y'all get free game. Right? I don't make a live and sit and complain about cash apps. Even though that's there. Right? The likes don't even get that. Most people take this information and bring it on to their buddies, and their buddies don't even come here. Right? And this is free game. Something that you can't get on ESPN, you can't get nowhere else. They're not going to tell you. They're going to tell you the boring shit. You're going to get all the boring information like they always talk about. The things they're not allowed to say. At least get the likes up. Now, you know what I'm gonna start doing, Buff Daddy? I'm gonna start turning off the lives. That's all I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start just turning off the lives because anyway soon I'm going Patreon way anyway. Or not only that, I'm doing private lives. Anyway, soon that's what I'm gonna do. Just to let people know, yeah, this is gonna convert to private lives very soon. Right? So, you know, like I was saying, yeah, because I have to get more out of it. It's basic. It's free game. It's free money for a lot of mother effers though. The truth. I could keep all this information to myself. I really can. I don't have to say none of this stuff. I can keep all the information to myself. Yeah, yes you did, Buck. Yes you did. Yes you did. Sure did. Right? I gotta keep giving this goddamn information. But for the ones that appreciate it. Right? So with this week, I don't think the public is going to eat the way they think they are. One of these games is gonna mess them up. One of these games will mess them up. Not one. One of these games is gonna mess them up. We just got to see what it is. I won't be surprised if it's both games though. That's just how I feel, bro. I don't think they just gonna keep giving it to y'all like that. And I think it's due to the fact that the media, the good old media, is trying to set you guys up. Right? The media is trying to set you guys up. A lot of these games is rigged. Of course, all these games is rigged. I tell people because a lot of people would tell me some games is rigged, some is not. That to me, just me. It makes no sense how some games can be rigged and some won't be rigged if they're all in the same league. And every single game ultimately affects each other. I've always said that. Every single game is going to affect each other some way, somehow. We saw it. We saw it when it was the Ravens versus the Packers, and then you had the Pittsburgh against the Lions. I think the week prior or something like that, right? And then it ends up being the Pittsburgh. What they basically needed each other. Like both divisions needed each other. I need you to beat this team, and if I could beat this team, I can get a playoff spot. Like every game has something to do with each other. There's no way that these games can be real over here and set games over here can be fake. They all have something to do with each other some way, somehow. I've always told people that. All these games are going to be rigged. It's all about how you look at it. You got to know what to do with it then. That's why I have no emotions when it comes to this. Uh, um, Tori says, as an old bookmaker, pay attention to the league partner with bookmakers. They always have a side. Tori, don't get me don't get me stuck. Okay, let's get into that. Don't get me started with that one, because let me tell you something, Tori. You are absolutely right. I've always told people this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, pays attention to me when I said this. Which matchup? Wait. Robin, my man Robin in the building. He said, "What matchup produces the most bang for the Super Bowl in your opinion?" Me, Broncos versus the Broncos versus the Rams. Broncos versus the Rams produces the most. Broncos versus the Rams, straight up, hands down. Broncos and Rams, hands down, hands down. Right? So y'all heard what Tori say. He says, as a as an old bookmaker, pay attention to the league partner with bookmarks. They always have a side. Absolutely. And I'm gonna say this again, right? The league, right? The league, NFL, since we're talking about them, all you gotta do is do your research and figure out what book are they partnered with. I'm willing to bet they are actually partnered with all the main books. They have a partnership with DraftKings. It has to be some type of partnership. It has to be some type of partnership. FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, whatever book they're partnered with. If the books is partnered with the very own, if the league is partnered with the very own people that try to take your money, how could you guys sit there with a straight face and say all sports is real when those leagues is partnered with the very own people, aka the sports books, that want to take your money? That makes no sense.
Are you fucking serious?
That makes no sense. That's the reason why I can't stand arguing with people at times. That makes no sense. If would you, let's be for real, for those that's listening, would you do business with me, right? Would you do real business with me if you found out I have a partnership, a close partnership with the very own people that's trying to take money from you? Think about it. Use your brain. Anybody that's listening, would you do business with me? Any type of business with me if you found out? Well, no. Would you be suspect of the business that you have with me if you found out that I'm in business with the very own people that tries to take money away from you? off topic before do you think the NFL was scripting the future for either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young to reach the Super Bowl? Since in 2023, everybody had a debate about those two sometime in the future. Uh, 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 I would see Bryce Young in the Super Bowl before CJ Stroud, to be honest with you. But, CJ Stroud got a black coach. I don't know how many times I keep telling you guys that. I said it again. I was right again this year about that. Not you per se, Super, but a lot of people arguing me down about, it's a black coach and a black quarterback, starting quarterback at that combination. NFL's not letting y'all motherfuckers raise the trophy. I'm sorry. Like it or not, I don't really feel sorry. I don't feel sorry about the things I'm saying. I don't. It just is what it is. And until it happens, I'll stop saying it. When it happens, if it happens, I'll stop saying it. But until then, we haven't seen it. Right? So, yes, the fact that they slap FanDuel or DraftKings on the stadium / the courts and people think it ain't rigged, it's bad. That I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people just think this is 100% real. For all you guys is watching, and I don't want to persuade none of you guys to think otherwise, right? But when you figure it out, you figure it out. But I'm trying to let you guys know. I'm just trying to let you guys know. Don't think the shit is on an up and up. When FanDuel, they have business with FanDuel. There's no way that can happen. The sports books would be out of business if they couldn't control the game some way, somehow. So you have to partner with the very league that actually controls the game. That way you don't get put out of business. Think about that. A lot of you guys sit there and you bet player props. You need somebody to give you 5 more yards until it hit, and then next thing you notice he kind of lets the defense tackle him and also push him fucking 5 yards even more back and shit like that. So now you're like, what the fuck was that? We see it happen in basketball. We see it happen in all sports. You guys have to be careful, right? The leagues. Look, you got the leagues, you got the sports media, and you got the sports books. Think about that. The leagues, the sports media, and the sports books. They all push your narrative so you can go out there and bet. And you can what? You can fail. I do look at sports media, of course, because I like to hear the bullshit that they say. That way I can basically like just do the opposite. 9 times out of 10, I'm doing the opposite, to be honest with you. Unless they say something, not even if I agree with something they say, but if they're rooting for a team that I think would win, sometimes they'll still give a stupid take, but I'm like, okay, yeah, this team is gonna win. But the take that they're giving as to why this team is gonna win, I really don't agree with it. It's some stupid shit. Right? But once again, the things that we talk about here, they're not allowed. Not saying that they don't want to, they're not allowed to talk about the things that we talk about. Right? So what happens is if a regular person that's new to me would sit there and be like, this guy is not I'm not paying attention to what this guy is saying because he's used to seeing people like Stephen A. Smith and a whole bunch of other people with suits on national TV say it, so it's more credible. Well, at least they think it is. But they're not thinking to themselves, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark and I don't just want to name drop, right? But we're just using like First Take for an example. Just to name a few, right? They work for ESPN. ESPN has a deal with DraftKings. These guys is on TV 5 days a week talking about who they think is going to win, why this team is going to win, why such and such player is great, this and that, right? So what happens is the regular person listens to that. right? They listen to that. And what happens is they say to themselves, well, this player, well, he played in the NFL before. He has a Super Bowl before. He plays. Or this guy, Stephen A. Smith, he's in arm reach of a lot of these players. Why doesn't he know what he's talking about? He knows what he's talking about. Yes, he does. Guess what I'm going to do? Let me put this parlay in, or let me bet this game. Let me bet real big on this game. Because, Stephen A. Smith, he knows what he's talking about. Stephen A. Smith knows what he's talking about, right? Of course I'm going to listen to him. Why would I listen to somebody on the internet that got subscribers? I'm going to listen to the guy that's making millions and millions of dollars. So, okay, I'm going to go bet because he said it, right? Mad Dog with the loud mouth. He got the loud mouth and he's talking so it sounds convincing. I'm going to make that bet because he's saying it, right? But not thinking to yourself, this is ESPN. They have a partnership with DraftKings. Why the F would DraftKings want to have business with another company that's going to tell you and give you the right picks so you can make money and beat the books? That makes no sense.
Are you fucking serious?
Where's the logic at times, people? Where's the logic in some of you thinking? That's the whole point. I'm in business with the sports books so I can give the audience dumb picks or dumb takes, right? Dumb takes. So they can go and bet the shit. Just because I have a loud mouth and a suit and I'm making millions of dollars, make it sound convincing, you go out, you bet it, and you go lose. And they do it again, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's what happened last week. Remember, I'm going to say it again, right? Because I think I got a lot of hate on this one. That whole Texans talk with their defense, right? What we kept seeing last week, oh my God, they're so good. Did you see what they did to the Pittsburgh Steelers? They're so good. They have the top defense, the Texans. They kept talking about just the defense. I said that's going to be a red flag. That's a red flag that y'all even listening to that shit. Red flag because they keep talking about one side of the ball. You still need to score more than your opponent. You do know that. So I don't care about how good your defense is. You still got to score. And last time I checked, y'all got that quarterback over there. Y'all got that Ohio State quarterback over there. Right? So, boom, guess what happens? Damn near everybody in the media kept talking about the Texans. Right? Kept talking about, whoa, they're gonna get the Patriots. Yeah, they're gonna get them. They're gonna get the Patriots. And what happened? The Patriots, what? The NFL made sure. The NFL made sure that the Texans folded. They made sure that the Patriots laid belt the ass.
Didn't we tell y'all not to mess with them? Didn't we tell y'all not to mess with them? Yeah.
Right? They made sure that they laid belt the ass. Oh, what's the other one? What's the other one? The Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? What did I not? I was first off, I was the first one to cover the whole Josh Allen has to win now shit before ESPN did. Guys, we did the show. What did I say? What did I say on that very live? If you watch the Josh Allen has to win now, the part 1. What did I say? I said I'm gonna do this live now, you guys, because what? The media is going to start taking this shit and they're gonna run with this whole Josh Allen has to win narrative. What do we see a couple days later? Josh Allen has to win now. I said it. I told you. As soon as Patrick Mahomes went down, as soon as he went down, we did that live. I said, this is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to run with the Josh Allen has to win now narrative. Right? And I was feeling like When I was feeling that way when the Chiefs was struggling, like, yo, what's going to be the excuse for Josh Allen and them, right? So guess what happened? It made a whole bunch of people go out there and bet the goddamn Bills, like for real, like really bet the Bills, like they was gonna really do something. A lot of futures with them winning the Super Bowl and shit like that. Like, yo, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Not only playing it, but I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. What happened? People went out and they did it. They went and made those tickets, right? Because the media was going hard at it. And guess what happened? They also lost, right? What happened with the Los Angeles Rams in the Chicago game? Chicago Bears. Matthew Stafford cannot play in cold weather. That's all you kept hearing. And last time I checked, didn't he play in the NFC didn't he play in the NFC North? Right? Even though they're gonna say what is a dome or whatever, you guys act like Matthew Stafford never played in the cold before. He can't play in these type of games, right? Even if he doesn't have a big winning record in the cold, the narrative they kept talking about. If you never heard about a Matthew Stafford can't win in the cold shit before, is what I'm trying to say. They never pushed that narrative ever before. He's been in the league since when? 09? That's when he came in, right? He came in the league since 09. We are in 2026 right now, y'all. Seriously, you've never heard of Matthew Stafford can't win in the cold take. All my years of watching the ESPN and the whole media, you never heard that take before, though. You never heard the take. So why talk about it now? I said it. I said, people, they are going to lose. The Bears are going to lose. They keep pushing a narrative down your throat. Whenever they push a narrative down your throat, please get away from it. Just don't bet the game or bet the other side. Mm. 60-30, Jalen. I got, let me see. Uh, I got, I got you on that one. Hold on. Man, hold on. Give me- Got him on that one. I got him on that one. Hold on. I'm doing something. Hold on, I'm doing something. You know? Okay. All right. So yeah. Back to what I'm saying. You guys have to like just don't let the media fool y'all. See what y'all talking about. The Bills are the league's favorite betting bait. Yes, the Bills have made a lot of money for the sports books. Let's just say starting from 2000 and the 2020 season. I'm gonna be fair with it, because back when the Bills was just a losing team before then, they really couldn't do nothing for the league, right? But now that sports betting is bigger than ever, yeah, you bet the Bills, you're gonna lose. It's easy money for the sports books. They're gonna always have a team like that. They're gonna always have a team like that. If Allen wins, it won't be in Buffalo. I agree. I agree. Like I said on Low's show, to me, if I had to rig it, how I would do it, me personally, I would have Josh Allen go over to the Los Angeles Rams after Matthew Stafford retires. After Matthew Stafford retires, have him go over to the Bills. I mean, you do have a deal with SoFi, right, Josh Allen? So you have a deal with SoFi, right? That's a new stadium. Go play for the Rams, right? Go play for the Rams. Makes more sense. Play for the Rams after Matthew Stafford is gone. Whatever deal you can get, because I know you just, not too long ago you did get paid, right? And you one of the top 10. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Rams they got the money. They got the money to pick up that deal. They have it. So I mean, I'm just saying, that's how I would do it. Him winning with the Bills and me living here in New York, to be honest with you, I don't see it. If it happens, that would be crazy. But as a New Yorker, I don't see how they let the Buffalo Bills upstate win when most of the attention is here in New York City. There's a lot that goes into that. And I try to tell people that, but you know, I mean it is what it is. I don't think Allen's gonna crash out. He listen, everybody has their role. Everybody can't win a championship. Josh Allen's one of the top 10 paid. We see him cry and shit like that, right? So it makes it seem like he cares. Your man's he's one of the richest quarterbacks in the league right now. One of the richest. To me personally, I don't think he's worried about winning no Super Bowl. He has a role, and his role is to be a loser, right? I don't know. Let me see. We said the Buffalo Jazz. Um, so wait. Dancing said same motherfuckers like Stephen A. Smith will talk about Team A winning, then commercial break will put a bet in for Team B. Exactly. People, this is what I always wanted to say. I say it a lot. For anybody that's watching that's not in the chat, please understand this. Please understand this. I'm willing to put my life on the line that the things that they say on TV, I would even say, just to be nice, 90% of the time, 90% of the time, the things that they say, they don't even actually go out and bet themselves. And I don't want to hear nothing about they make millions so they won't bet. What's the sense of them betting if they're making millions? Stop it, because they still owe. They still got to pay taxes and everything. So it's a lot of. So if you get a contract for 200 million, whatever that is, sports or to be on TV or whatever, you're not bringing home 200 million because taxes is coming. Taxes is coming out of that, right? So I mean, let's keep it 100. We all human beings. When we hear that we're getting paid a certain amount and we can't get paid that much because of taxes and shit like that. You know what we say to ourselves? Well, damn, how can I get back that tax money? Right? You don't think that they're betting? You don't think none of these guys on TV is betting? Of course they are. But I'm willing to bet you that they're not betting the same shit that they tell you on TV. I know they're not. It makes no sense. Because they're in bed with the sports books. If I'm a sports book, I'm gonna be honest with you, and you guys is a business, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you, yo, I want you to give your honest assessment, right? Remember, we all in bed together. The sports media, the sports books, and the league, we all in bed together. You really think they want to give you guys the real truth about what's going on? Now, some games are gonna hit, duh. It goes without a doubt. That's gonna happen. But for the most part, I'm not gonna sit there and give you guys the up and up. What the fuck you think this is? You gotta paint the narrative. I need you to paint it. I need you to paint this narrative. We got him. We got another one. We got another one in the book. They just made this bet. They just made this $200-300 bet on this team because you said it was gonna happen. Oldest trick in the book, and I don't blame them for that. You know, think about that. What it says. Neil Baker pointed out something about the BBC Sport Soccer Championship. Look at the logos. Does that But what does that have something to do with the Super Bowl though? Is that a Super Bowl clue? Let me know. Yeah, a lot of people stubborn. A lot of people are stubborn about their team. I mean, but I tell people you got to take your emotions out of it. You got to take your emotions out of it. You have to take your emotions out of it. You have to. It's not about you got to. You like there's a lot of teams that I don't understand how people could just root for, and go hard and root for. Right? Football season's almost up. I cannot wait for basketball season. I As a New Yorker, I got something nice and cooking for these New York Knicks fans.
Are you fucking serious?
Not to talk about basketball, we're not talking about that, but I'm just letting you know, like, just to name a few, shit. Dallas Cowboy fans, New York Giants fans, like just teams that like, what are you doing? You wasting your time. You really are wasting your time. To get with the program. It's not happening, or it's not happening no more. It's not happening no time soon. That is stressful to be a fan of a team, and they always get the job done. And when I say get the job done, I mean get the job done by failing. They keep doing it over and over and over. And for some reason you support them so hard that you really think they gonna do something. No. Oh, the Rams. Wait. The Rams versus Titans. Okay, I know. Okay, yes. If you talk about that, yes. The whole Rams and I remember those breakdowns and the clues with the Rams and the Bengals. Those were the fun days. Those were the fun days 4 years ago. Those were the fun days. I remember those breakdowns. I also remember, like, a little quick thing, right? So I'm in the sports book. Right. Speaking of that, the last time the Rams went to the Super Bowl, I'm in the sports book. I'm in FanDuel, that is, in Atlantic City. I'm looking at the conference championship games. Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes, right? Jimmy Garoppolo versus Matthew Stafford. So what happened was, before the games, you know how they give future scenarios on what the Super Bowl can be. So I had all four of those teams playing in the conference championship. I think they made a mistake. They had the Super Bowl scenario, right? Now, this is before both games happen. They're supposed to have a scenario that the Rams versus Bengals, and also Rams versus Chiefs, right? Or 49ers versus Bengals, 49ers versus Chiefs. It should have had that scenario, right? Super Bowl scenarios. They only had one before both games started. Me and my homeboys, we peeped it. They had only one possible Super Bowl scenario. You know what that was? The LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Are you fucking serious?
That's what they had on FanDuel. So we sitting there watching it. Shout out to my man Buck with the $4.99 Cash App, my guy. Buck always coming through showing love. He love this knowledge. Shout out to my man Buck on that. Right? Y'all see it. It said, I swear to God, I will never forget. And damn, I don't got it now. I can show the proof of that. So I took a picture of that. It was only one scenario there. We didn't see no other scenario. Now, this is before both games started. I said, why is there only one scenario, Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams? That's the only scenario? So I said, okay, I know what's going to happen. The Bengals is about to beat the Chiefs. Take the Bengals with the money line. Boom. Got that. Take the Los Angeles Rams money line against the 49ers. Boom. Got that. That was it. And then when it's time for Super Bowl, I was with the Rams all the way, of course. But that was the easiest, to me, that was the easiest parlay I've ever had is because they made a mistake. And sure enough, guess what happened? About 10 minutes left, it was taken off the board. It was taken off the board. Shout out to all my guys in the chat. I keep trying to tell people, this is what you guys have to watch out for. Right? This Super Bowl, or even now, whatever you betting, I would say in play. Watch and be careful. Be careful and pay attention to the lines very well. I'm telling y'all. Now, once again, I'm on the Rams, but if you are not on the Rams, you don't have to be. Right? If you are on the Seahawks, because I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody that's rooting for the Seahawks, because you guys already know how I felt about the Seahawks. You know, because just in case I'll get people trying to come for me, like if the Rams lose, I'll just tell people, just go back to my early lives this year, or this football year. It's there. Seahawks talk is there. Seahawks talk is there. Seahawks talk is there. Right? But whoever's going for the Seahawks, yeah. Right? Whoever's going for the Patriots, fine. You think they're going to get the number 7? Fine. Whoever thinks the Broncos is going to do it, fine. It don't matter. But what I'm letting you guys know is just pay attention to any type of funny business, because you're going to see some funny business starting this weekend. And also before the Super Bowl, somebody's gonna get in trouble. Somebody probably will get arrested. Somebody, a death is going to be reported. Something is going to happen from now until kickoff in a Super Bowl. We're gonna see that, and we're gonna be covering that, as you guys know, because it's gonna happen. Before, do you think the NFC will get a dynasty since the AFC had the last 2? I ain't gonna lie. I usually see dynasties with the AFC now. Back then, the dynasties was in the NFC, as you guys know. You know, I don't know if you want to call it dynasties, but you know, like teams that was there. You know, there was a point, 49ers, right? Dallas Cowboys, just to name 2. I think those are actually like the last 2 if you think about it. Everybody else, like you said, well, the last 2 we got here in the AFC, Patriots and the Chiefs, right? Is the NFC gonna have one? The only way I can answer that question is I have to pay attention to the quarterbacks, because it always starts with the quarterbacks. It may be somebody that's coming into the draft. It may be somebody that's in the league right now that's sitting behind somebody. But I tell you this, most dynasties, if they keep the pattern up, I'll tell you this, pay attention to any quarterback who's coming out of his second year. Coming out of his second year. Those are the ones you really pay attention to, because they start the dynasty out with a quarterback that you don't know of too much, and it's usually in his second year. That's a little clue for y'all. So you may want to pay attention to second year quarterbacks, but not popular. I repeat, pay attention to second year quarterbacks that are not popular, people. Not popular. Somebody's name that was not ringing bells in the draft. Right? Just remember that, people. Anybody that's watching, I promise you, the next dynasty that does happen, or whatever you want to call that, dynasty or whatever, it's going to be from a quarterback who is not talked about a lot. And then also, I'm willing to bet he's going to come out of his second year and then start to shake things up. They did that with Tom Brady. They did that with Patrick Mahomes. If the trend keeps going, usually that's how it goes. And then also, they were backups, right? Patrick Mahomes was a backup. Tom Brady was a backup, right? both of them got to start because of injuries. Right? With the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes really got that. He actually really got to start because your man had what's his name? Had injury issues. So that's how Patrick Mahomes was, okay, yeah, you're gonna be the guy. It's just that Patrick Mahomes got to start early in the beginning of the season in 2018, right? Tom Brady, he replaced Drew Bledsoe and during the season when Drew Bledsoe had got hurt, right? But Brady and Mahomes did not come into the league as a starter, a starting rookie. So if the trend keeps going, I expect that to still happen again. So that's why I say pay attention to second year quarterbacks, or even maybe third year that's sitting and then gets the opportunity. That's usually when the trend starts of a dynasty. That's why I don't put no faith in dynasties with a starting quarterback that's drafted 1, 2, or 3 or anything like that. Absolutely not. So anybody thinking your man Mendoza's going to do something, you out of your cotton picking mind.
Are you fucking serious?
It's no chance. It's not happening. It's not. That's not how they do it. And NFL and college are both big deals. Mendoza, he had a perfect season. They made sure he had a perfect season and got the Heisman and won the championship and got the Heisman. He is not going to be no Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady when he gets in the NFL. I guarantee. I'm willing to bet anybody that's watching. I'll bet anybody that doesn't happen. There's no chance. Mendoza's stock is about to fall. His stock is about to fall. And then what, you bring him over to the Raiders? Why are you bringing him over to the Raiders? Even though Tom Brady's not the majority owner, he's a minority owner, right? But when you think about the Raiders ownership, Tom Brady's the face, right? But I mean, former player, known as the GOAT and things like that, right? All that is the Charlotte Hornets right all over again. It's Michael Jordan. Tom Brady's going to have Michael Jordan's script as an owner. He is going to have a failed team. We got to take turns here in the NFL. You can't have everything. You can't have everything. Michael Jordan, known as the GOAT in basketball. Ownership, we see how that has gone. Tom Brady's going to be the same way. Known as the GOAT, but when it comes to ownership of a team, he's going to be horrible. Now, what's going to save him is the fact that it's the Vegas Raiders and it's Vegas, so Vegas is always going to make noise, right? Vegas is always going to make noise. But listen, this is not the Vegas Knights of hockey, where they can win a championship, or the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team, the girls, they can win a championship. But when you're talking about something as big as the NFL, letting the Raiders win a championship in Vegas, that's kind of a stretch. At least for right now. Let's just say that. At least for right now, that's kind of a stretch. They already got the money, they already got the attention. So people got to understand that, right? I don't want nobody feeling no type of way, but that's just how it goes. Speaking of college, what is the deal with Bill Belichick coaching UNC? Is he just there to have a humiliation ritual, or is he really going to turn UNC football around? No, I think no, no. Honestly, it's you can probably look at it as a humiliation ritual. I mean, you can look at it the same thing with Brady. Brady has to be an owner. That's his humiliation ritual, right? Of being a horrible owner, right? Bill Belichick won't not see the same success he had as a head coach. It's over. Man, Chief said, do you think the NFL elevates Caleb Williams, the Bears, because of all the record-breaking ratings, money that he brought in? Yes, yeah. Yes, they're gonna elevate him. Yes, I do believe that they're gonna elevate him. They are. They are. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be like the best, because remember, he was a very high pick. And what I mean by high pick, he was a very popular pick. Wasn't he like one overall, right? And like I'm sorry, y'all. You know how I feel when you number one overall. I really don't have high expectations for you. I don't. Maybe they have something cooking for him, from him, right? Or for him. But I can't. I still have to stick with what I'm saying. Usually, if you are a high draft pick like that, of high value, usually it doesn't pan out well, right? The people that we talk about now that's lifting these trophies, Patrick Mahomes wasn't a number one overall. You know, before him it was Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't a one overall. Those are the people that you guys is calling GOATs, or that the media is calling GOATs, or everybody else is calling GOATs, right? You notice how the guys the ones that's being called the GOATs is the ones that nobody was paying attention to in the draft. That's why I don't put a lot of stock in the hot, popular players going into the draft. I pay attention to them, but I look at them with a side eye like, it's not going to pan out well for you. It ain't going to pan out well for you. Some of them you probably see in the Super Bowl, yeah. But it's not going to pan out well for you. It's not going to. What happened in college is not going to happen in the NFL. But with Caleb Williams, I see them doing something. I see them do something. But I tell you this, people, don't think that the Bears is gonna keep doing that shit that they did, that they have been doing all season. That's not happening. That's not gonna happen. All that shit that they've been doing all this season, don't expect that to happen. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna keep happening like that. You know, nah. Yeah, what Manning? Which Manning? Peyton Manning or Eli Manning? You mean Manning from Texas? What, him? I'm gonna say the same thing. If he gets a high pick, like I said, if he gets like a number one pick or some shit like that, nah. And the reason why I feel more confident saying that is because they definitely gonna make him look good because of Eli and because of Peyton. But I don't think we see that success. I don't think we're gonna see that success. If he's a high pick, like a number one or something like that, Arch, right? Yeah. If it's Arch, right? I don't think he's gonna have the Eli or Peyton. No, nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is what I tell people. Those days of like certain patterns, right? Even though the NFL has patterns, we won't see these patterns as much for the simple fact we have sports betting is a big deal, y'all. Sports betting is a big deal. It's a real big deal that you guys have to understand. And what I'm trying to say is, when you have sports betting being a big deal, if we just keep looking at the past patterns, we together, not just me, but together, we actually can beat the books. And you don't think that the leagues and the books know that? If we just follow the same thing, like, okay, yeah, this player, he's going to have a Peyton Manning script, or he's going to have an Eli Manning script, so let me put all my eggs in one basket off of him, because they're going to do it. They're going to do the same for him. We got another thing coming. They're not going to do it. It may be another player, but it ain't going to be him. I'm telling you, that's like a lot of people say, Shador Sanders is going to be just like Deion Sanders, even though they play different positions, but the success is going. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. I've been seeing certain pages promoting the Seahawks to win the bowl because of the Pope. Yeah. I mean, the Pope the Pope, his birthday's on 9/14, right? His birthday's on 9/14. That's the reason why the Pope is actually like a big deal this year, right? Because the Pope, obviously, he has a birthday every single year, duh, right? As he ages, right? But you notice the Pope is a big deal this year, the same year that they're talking about the number 14. They're talking about the number 14 a lot. It's been going on all this year, and the Pope is a big deal. His birthday's on the 14th, so he once again he's one of them. That's why I tell people the Pope is not the he's not the end all be all in this whole situation. The number 14 is the top thing for whatever reason. Who knows, right? But the number 14 is a big deal. He happens to be a part of the whole 14 mess. Remember, we've been seeing 14 all over when it comes to a whole bunch of stories, whole bunch of people, all that shit. He's a part of it. He's 14. I mean, his birthday's 14. 9/14. That's kind of funny. Now I'll tell you this. Right? I'll tell you this. Now, I'm not saying that this is gonna happen, but a lot of people saying Seattle because of the Pope. Now, what if I was just to sit there and say, okay, well, how come we can't say the Rams? Because his birthday's on 9/14. I could say something crazy like Matthew Stafford is number 9, right? And also, what's the difference between 9 and 14? Anybody in the chat? Could anybody tell me the number between 9 and 14? What's the difference? What's the number difference in 9 and 14? In the chat, just give me the number. Just quick. Just quick. If anybody wants to talk about the Pope, right? The Pope's birthday is 9/14, right? Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. 5, right? I can easily say that. 5, right? And who's the 5 seed? That's right, Mello. Who's the 5 seed? The Rams. The Rams is the 5 seed. You guys see what I'm saying? I could say that. That's why I really haven't been talking about the Pope as much, right? Now, could the Pope come into play? Yeah, I'm not saying that. The Pope definitely can come into play, but I think it's bigger than the Pope. I think it's just more about the number 14, not him per se. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about him. It's about he's a part of the whole 14 thing. So that's why he's incorporated. That's why you start to see, you hear about him. It's because of the number 14. He's involved with the number 14. So it's actually a bigger thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, hey, the difference between 9 and 14 is 5. The Rams is 5. So it is a case for them. Like I said, if it ain't Rams, it's Seahawks. Super Bowl, I'm rolling with any one of those 2 teams in the Super Bowl. So you don't even got to ask me. Right? Well, I got to think about the line too. I do got to think about the opening line of the Super Bowl. See what they're talking about, just in case. Because I'm still on the fence if they're going to bring up Sam Darnold's injury. Remember, they spoke about that injury before the 49ers game. And turns out it was a hoax. It didn't affect them. It had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with the game, right? And it was really just to get a whole bunch of 49er money, right? To make things even. And it turns out, look what happened. The NFL had these niggas getting blown out. The 49ers, that is. Right? The Seahawks scored 41 points. So, I say, what if that injury actually does come into play some way, somehow? I mean, technically, they have 2 games left if they take care of the first one this week. So we got to be careful. Yes, his birthday's on the 14th, like number 14, Sam Darnold. Yeah, they go to the Super Bowl every time there's a new pope. Fair enough, it's possible. They go to the Super Bowl every time there's a new pope. Yes, I do. Yes, I do know about that. Granted, Darnold didn't throw much. He only threw for 140 yards. 140 yards. Well. Too obvious that the Rams was trash this year. You mean that what's too obvious, that It'll be too obvious if they go to the Super Bowl. What do the Patriots and the Chicago Bulls have in common? They both not winning. They both are not winning no more rings. That's what Reckless said. They both not winning no more rings. No time soon. Yep. 2021 Rams beat the Orange team. 2025 Rams will beat the Orange team. Another note of mine. Yeah, you know what's so funny? I kind of thought about something funny like that too. Like, what if they do beat another Orange team, which would be the Broncos? That should be crazy, right? That would be crazy if they beat another Orange team. If that happens, and the Broncos win the Super Bowl every 10 years. I would like to see Lamar on the Vikings with Jefferson. Yes, yeah. I remember we had that conversation a couple weeks ago, right? Yep. The Brady and the MJ curse. If any Chicago team winning, it will be the Bears. It seemed like a lot of people's on the Seahawks this year because of the poll. Hey, listen, I know I'm getting a part of that action if it happens. If the Seahawks win this year, I'm getting it. I'm talking about if they win the NFC this year, I'm getting in on that action. You know, it is what it is. Danson said, "Yo, B, you saw the news today? The ex NFL player dead on the street in LA. Yeah, what do you make of that? Yeah, hold on, I could pop the article up because I did read that. Yeah, we can pull it up. Ah, shit. Shout out to my guys in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, well, no. Former NFL defensive lineman Kevin Johnson, 55 years of age, right, was found dead at a Los Angeles homeless encampment on January 21st, which was 2 days ago, in an apparent homicide. Found in the Willowbrook area, he suffered blunt head trauma and stab wounds. Johnson played for the Eagles and the Raiders in the 1990s. Right? So if anybody wants to know, yes, 2 days ago, former NFL defensive lineman Kevin Johnson, 55 years of age, he was found dead at a Los Angeles homeless encampment on January 21st, 2026, which was yesterday, in an apparent homicide found in the Willowbrook area. He suffered blunt head trauma and stab wounds. Johnson played for the Eagles and the Raiders in the 1990s. So that's what Dancing Poppy is talking about if anybody wants to know, right? And what do we say? Around Super Bowl time, we usually get what? We usually get deaths. We usually get deaths. So, I mean, people, that's what usually happens. Deaths all the time. Do we not say it every single year? Every single year that happens, right? Every single year, it's always a death. It's just which is wild, right? It's always some type of death. So I mean, I hey he and what was when he was with the Eagles, he was 94, right? 95 or 94. If I can look it up. I'm knocking that shit up. He was 94, if I believe, right? So because if he was 94, it just goes to me. I can just be on my conspiracy theory shit. But if you subtract his jersey number, you get a 5. You get a 5. You get a 5. He was 94. 9 take away 4. You get the 5. Right? So I mean, I'm just saying. I I don't know. I'm sticking with my 5, which is that 14. Just to let you guys know, I'm not getting off of it. You know. So I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people's forgetting about Shane Tamora, man. Shane Tamora. And the thing is, it's not maybe because I'm a New Yorkian, whatever that is, if that's even a word. And I tried to tell people the story about it. I think it's still glossing over a lot of people's heads. Your man went to the NFL headquarters out here and tried to quote unquote get in the NFL headquarters. That happens to be on the 5th floor. NFL headquarters is on the 5th floor. He tried to get in the 5th floor, but for some reason he ended up on the 33rd floor. Right? I don't understand how it magically went to the 33rd floor. I don't Did he press that button or did it go straight up to the 33rd floor? Because first off, that's the Blackstone. That's where Blackstone is, one of the richest companies in the world. How do you end up on the 33rd floor and then you can't even get on that floor once you hit the 33rd floor because it's a code in order to actually enter the floor itself. So how did he get there? And last time I checked, the difference between 5 and 33 is 28. The same day as the Super Bowl, February, which is 2/8. Right? And another way you could look at 27, the difference between 2 and 7 is what? It's 5. You know how we always say 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 7 is 14. But the difference between 2 and 7 is 5. Yes, it's right. Patrick Mahomes, number 15, was injured this season. Yes. 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 Yeah. You know what's so crazy, Colin? Sorry. Go watch my breakdown of the number 14, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. You'll find that interesting. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, number 14. How number 14 is tied to both of them. Yes, Patrick Mahomes, number 15 goes down. Yep. Patrick Mahomes was involved with the number 4 all along, the number 14 all along. And that's the reason why I'm saying number 15 goes down the same year we get a 1 versus 5 seed. Imagine we get a 1 versus 5 seed go down in the Super Bowl the same year your man number 15 goes down. I'm just saying. Shane's home address, and they try to block that out. Yeah, they try to like block out that apartment or that house or that house number and shit like that, right? And that equals up to 16. But if you do two times 5, that's 10, right? 10 times 8 is 80. 80 times 1 is still 80, you know? But yeah, Shane's home address is apparently 2581. The pictures were blurry. Yeah, exactly. But I found one that was somewhat readable in a world of 4K. Somehow everything else gets recorded on an iPhone 3. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's another thing people got to watch out for. You know something is fake and suspect when all of a sudden you can't get no clear pictures of it. All of a sudden, right? We have 4K, we have 5K, we have 6K, we have all of that. But when a certain event happens and you want to read the address of something or you want to get nice clarity of a picture, for some reason you can't. Why is that? Yeah. The last backup to win a Super Bowl was the New York Giants one in Super Bowl 25 versus the Bills team, coached by legendary Levi. Super Bowl. Wait. What you mean the last backup to win a Super Bowl? The last backup quarterback to win a Super Bowl? No. Last. What do you mean, Sab? When you say that, last backup to win the last quarterback backup to win a Super Bowl? But no. Uh, Nick Foles. Nick Foles did it. Nick Foles did it. There's been a couple of backup quarterbacks that won the Super Bowl after that. There's been a couple. Yeah, there's been a couple. I think he was just the last. I think he was just the last one. You said to the main that lost to the main quarterback or that beat the main quarterback. I don't know. I gotta figure out what you mean when you say that one. I gotta check that one out. I gotta check that one out. Not saying you wrong, but I gotta check that one out. 41 points. Yeah, adds up to what 41 points to bet draft pitcher adds up to 2017 season. Oh, you mean connected to Levi Stadium? Okay, okay. So are you saying that we? Let's see if my frames dropped. I don't know why. Hopefully it didn't. Are you saying that we're going to see that again? A backup quarterback winning in Levi Stadium, right? Possibly, like it could be either one of these teams, right? Like the Broncos can possibly do it, right? If Matthew Stafford gets hurt, that's what you're saying. Like we might see that again this year with a backup winning the Super Bowl at Levi Stadium. I mean, connected with Levi Stadium, but Levi Stadium wasn't around at that time, right? Brady won his first that way. That's why they let him lose to a backup. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brady was a backup, and some people forget that Tom Brady was actually a backup. Which comment are you talking about? While McVay sitting on okay, Sean McVay is sitting on 102 wins, which is 201 in reverse. Texans cooked the Steelers while Tomlin was on 201 wins. 201 is a satanic number the elites love. Could the Seahawks smoke the Rams? Could the Seahawks smoke the Rams? Now, when you say, okay, here's the thing about that, Reckless. When you say staying on 201, that you got to be a little bit more specific because that's basically saying that Sean McVay will never win again after this, after next year. That's the reason why. That's the reason why when it comes to stats like that, I usually don't follow because that's basically saying that he's going to stay on that. Remember, Sean McVay's not on his way out. Now, if he was on his way out, right? Like let's say for instance, he don't know if he's gonna retire or not, then we can have that conversation. But I don't know if I can get with that because that's basically saying whoever gets to 201 wins via the coach, that they won't win again after that. I'm pretty sure Sean McVay will win again next season. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure about that. And it probably would have made more sense if that happened with the Super Bowl. If he was on 201 wins and then he went to the Super Bowl. But I don't think we can really go with that now because he's going to pass 201 at some point. Next year he's going to pass 201. No. I get what you're saying, but usually what you're saying, because I get what you're saying. You said Sean McVay is sitting at 102 wins, which is 201 in reverse. The Texans cooked the Steelers while Tomlin was on 201 wins. 201 is a satanic number the elites love. Could the Seahawks smoke the Rams? Mike Tomlin's situation is he's on his way out, or he was on his way out. As we can see, he's done. Sean McVay is fresh. Wait a minute. Sean McVay is sitting on 1-0. Oh, yeah. Now, but hold on. It would make more sense when Sean McVay gets to 201 wins, which I understand the whole reverse thing. But I think he would have to be on 201 wins exact in order to have that conversation. Almost when it's time for him to retire. I'll say that. But for now, 102, nah, I don't think it has any. Nah. Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. I don't even think that's the worry. Because he has to pass 201. He has to pass 102 regardless next year. He's going to pass 102. It only when he's about to retire, that conversation we can have about the 201. Like, oh, he's stuck on 201. Right? But yeah, not now. Hell no. It's too early. It's too early for him. As a coach, nah. We got to wait to see Sean McVay with the gray hairs and all that stuff in order to talk about that. Ben Johnson will get a Super Bowl. Hopefully, Donald, Ben Johnson doesn't end up being just one of those loudmouth, aggressive type dudes that don't win a Super Bowl. Because that can be his act. They can have him be that. Like, that'll be his new act. One of those guys that's a loudmouth but can't win a Super Bowl. Or can't win a championship. Maybe the 1 and 5 seed go down in the conference championship. So then what? We'll get a 2 versus 1, like we always get, pretty much. Because if you say a 1 and 5 seed goes down, that means that the Broncos and the Rams both have to go down. If you say a 1 and 5 seed both go down, if I'm not correct. Right? Because a 1 and a 5, it has to be a 1 on one side and a 5 on the other side. Remember, we already got 1 and 5 with the Seahawks right now, the Seahawks and the Rams, right? So you're probably saying, basically, you're saying it's Seahawks. You're saying the Patriots versus Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. That's what you're banking on. I do like what you said about the Jimmy G script. That's interesting because I could see them doing some shit like that to mess everyone prop bets up and the money line just get killed. Yeah, I'm just saying it could possibly happen. Right? It's just something to keep in the back of your mind. I don't want you guys to invest in that too much, right? But it'll be funny if we get a Jimmy G actually playing the game because Matthew Stafford somehow gets hurt. And then that's the real Nick Foles backup. When everybody was talking about the whole Stidham and Bo Nix, nah, it's your man Jimmy G and Matthew Stafford all along. Not saying that's going to happen, but I will jump off the roof if that does happen. Because that'll be some crazy shit. Like, goddamn, it actually happened. Peyton and Stafford won the Super Bowl being the number 1 overall picks. Yeah. But we're talking about like now, the success of the quarterbacks now. The success of the quarterbacks now, we have yet to see. Usually they have to wait a while to win. Like Peyton didn't win right away. Took him a couple years for him to actually like win something, you know? There's a lot of stock in a lot of these players. Because you know what it is? It's too many players that come out number 1 that have high expectations. That's the thing. All of them can't win. You know, I'll just say this. Me, I don't put my stock in number 1 quarterbacks. Number 1 overall quarterbacks, I don't put my stock in. I know some people do. I don't. If I see that you're a number 1 overall quarterback, I absolutely have no faith that you're going to win. That's what I usually go by. Oh, you're a number one? Nah, you ain't gonna win, bro. They gotta set you up in the right. They gotta set you up like correct, and usually we don't see that. What what team do you see next that wins their first ever Super Bowl? Which teams could win their first in the future? It seems like it's been a while. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Break it down right now. That's a good question. Well, let's look at the teams that got zero, right? Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills got zero, right? Minnesota Vikings. They got zero. That's why I tell people like don't just get on the Bills. You got to get at the Vikings too, because the Vikings is 0-4. It's just that they didn't do it how the Bills did it. But Vikings is 0-4 in the championship as well. Just to let you guys know that, right? But the Buffalo Bills, right? They got zero. Minnesota Vikings, they got zero. The Cincinnati Bengals, they got zero. The Falcons got zero. The Carolina Panthers, they got zero. The Chargers, they got zero. The Cardinals, they got zero. The Titans, they got zero. The Browns, they got zero. Detroit Lions, they got zero. The Texans, they got zero. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got zero. That's 12 teams. 12 teams have zero. Which one do I see out of all of them to win a Super Bowl anytime soon? None of them. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it right now. I don't see it. I don't see it out of any of them right now. I guess when we get a new storyline, right? We get a new storyline, but I tell you this, I don't see it right now. That's a good damn question. That's a hard question though. That's a hard question, yo. Before, do you think they were trying to tell us something with the JJ McCarthy 9 thing? The JJ McCarthy 9 thing could tell us Matthew Stafford if that's where you're going, right? They could tell that could be Matthew Stafford, a clue for Matthew, you know? If Allen wins, he'll be somewhere else. Yeah, 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 yeah. And oh yeah, little bonus thing. Even about the whole Shawn thing. You see how Shawn is still a big deal, right? Sean Payton, Sean McVay, Sean O'Malley fighting this week, but also trying to find a replacement for your man Sean McDermott on the Bills, and that's why they talking with your man Philip Rivers, right? Because that's the reason. Basically, that's the reason why Philip Rivers came into play. That's one of the reasons why. What matter of fact, a couple of lives ago, you remember we had that conversation. I said, "Yo, what is the real reason for Philip Rivers coming back?" Besides the fact that what was he, 44 years of age? He was in the first round, the fourth pick, which is that's the 14, right in 2004. So a lot of fours is being involved with your man Philip Rivers, right? We broke that down for anybody that's new. We broke down Philip Rivers with the whole four thing. But I also said, what's the real reason besides that, right? Besides just that, like why they made a big deal about Philip Rivers, like even coming back. And it turns out now all of a sudden he's getting a coaching interview. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he ends up on the Bills or not. Let's see if it's official, right? Only time will tell. But I find it funny how he was able to get an interview. And I think that was it. I think they had it set up all along. And I tell you, the NFL doesn't do things right away at the spur of the moment. They have things always planned out. And I think that's what that was. Philip Rivers getting the opportunity to be a coach. I didn't say that before. I'm not gonna tell you guys like I've been guessed that. No, but what I'm saying is now that we get the reports, then I'm saying to myself, now I know why Phillip Rivers was a big deal. Well, they made a big deal of Phillip Rivers. That's why. Because if he would have just came out of nowhere and got that interview, then people would question why Phillip Rivers. So we got to involve him in our storyline some way, somehow. And that's what that was about. Sean McDermott was getting, well, anyway, you guys know this is all rigged anyway. The Bills wasn't going to win. Sean McDermott was getting fired anyway. They was letting him go anyway. All this was pre-planned ahead. I keep trying to tell people that. Does he get that job? We'll see, right? Yeah, Phillip Rivers is the coach. It would be weird. And it's so funny. A lot of you guys in the chat, y'all remember last week and also the week before. What do y'all call Allen? Y'all say he's the new what? He's the new Rivers. We've been seeing that in the chat a lot. And now look at this. The NFL the whole NFL coaching tree, right? Like who comes from who and things like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's just, I saw it. It's just a bunch of like I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. I get a little like I don't fall for the bullshit the NFL says. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just tell people I see things way different. I'm gonna have a conversation with you way different from what you see on TV. It's just I see bullshit. I see it, yo. I do. Real sports is not gonna be like this. So that's why I tell people when you come here, we're gonna talk about how we can take advantage of it being the way it is, right? Yeah, Allen always loses to Mahomes. Yeah, for all the people that's new, that just came in the chat. I started off with the chat letting people know if you feel like having fun, right? Then you may want to check out the Shawn parlay for the weekend, right? What is the Shawn parlay for the weekend? Well, here it is. It's the Shawn parlay for the weekend, as you guys can see right here, right? The Shawn parlay of the weekend. You take the Los Angeles Rams, Sean McVay, right? Straight up. You can also take the Denver Broncos, straight up. Or you can take them with the points. If you take them with the points, take it at 5.5. That's what it opened as. Take it. It's minus 138. Well, that's FanDuel, at least. Right? And then you could take Sugar, Shawn, O'Malley. So if you take the Rams, the Broncos with the points, and you also take Sugar Shawn O'Malley to win, that's a plus 777. No, I'm sorry. No, that's a plus 449 if you take the points. But if you take the Broncos with the money line instead of the points, you can get it as a plus 777. So if you betting and you rocking with all the Shawns to win, that's something you can look into. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. No, but just it's something I thought of the whole Shawn thing. To anybody that's watching, you may want to look into that. Let your peoples know the Shawn parlay. Can that happen? We'll see, right? Or if you don't trust it, because something might mess you up. If you're willing to take 3 bets, you can separate each one of them. How about that? That way nothing else messes you up. Just in case you feel a little suspect about one of these games, hey, just just separate them. You may be betting NBA. You may be betting something else, right? So when you do your parlays, you may want to look into the Rams, Sean O'Malley, the Rams, right? With Sean McVay, Sean O'Malley and your man Sean Payton with the Denver Broncos. Maybe the points, maybe the money line. We'll see. It'll be one of them. So, you know. And yes, that's a good K Rob. That's a good I like that's a good point. Yes. If we get the Rams versus the Broncos in the Super Bowl, this game is a tribute to Stan Kroenke. And anybody knows who Stan Kroenke is. He's the owner of the LA Rams. But not only that, he owns the Denver Nuggets. He owns the Colorado Avalanche, and he, obviously the Rams, like I said. And he has won an NBA championship, and he has also won with the Colorado Avalanche, who won a couple years ago too. K-Rob, forgot about that. He owns the Colorado Avalanche. They won not too long ago. Denver Nuggets, they won not too long ago. The LA Rams, they won not too long ago. Remember, this guy won all around the same time with this whole Missouri situation. Once again, goes back to that whole Missouri situation and also Stan Kroenke, right? He won with those teams, along with other teams that he had. Like smaller leagues and shit like that. So it wouldn't make sense for Stan Kroenke, the Rams against Denver. It fits right with him. Stan Kroenke has a lot of business in Denver. He has a lot of business in Colorado, a lot of business in LA. Wouldn't it make sense? Boom. Same thing gonna happen with Diggs and Sean Payton. Diggs got to pay his dues for that fake touchdown against Payton versus the Vikings, number 14. That's why I said, is this the revenge? Right? The last live. Sean Payton's revenge. Does he get revenge on Diggs? Remember what Diggs, number 14, Diggs did for the Vikings on January 14th, 2018? January 14th, 2018. Number 14, Diggs. Eliminate Sean Payton. Come on now. The coaching tree determines the future Super Bowl coach winners. You have to be part of a good coaching tree to be chosen to win a Super Bowl. Absolutely. Most people that just get in and be a coach, usually those are not the ones that win. Especially the black coaches. Not to be funny, it is what it is. All this is set up. It's always going to be that way. Always. I just want y'all to know that. So yeah, we hit the 2 hour and 13th mark. This one was a good live. If we get any breaking news today, we can go live later tonight. If we get anything that's newsworthy, right? One of my breakdowns that I usually be doing, I'll save that for another live. But if we get any newsworthy information today, we can go live. This one was a nice one. Y'all gotta make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe too. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the super chats. Anyone that did hit me on the Cash App instead of the super chat, good looks on that. Yo, this one was a good one. So we're gonna see what's up. So I need to know, y'all, is it rigged? Is it scripted? Is it fixed? I don't know, man. You tell me. Wow.